Today's chapter is genetic code. We know that DNA contains genetic information which is transmitted from one generation to another. That is, characters are transferred from parents to offspring. Now, today we shall study the genetic code. Code, you know, code means a word that contains some information in abbreviated form. Say, for example, IAS. IAS means Indian Administrative Service. Similarly, PUC. PUC means pre-university course. So the code word contains some information. Similarly, the DNA also contains the information in the form of a code. This code actually we call the genetic code. It is the genetic information required for translation of polymer of nucleotide, means DNA, to polymer of amino acids, means protein. That is the genetic information required for translation of information of DNA to proteins. This information is present in the form of a code. This code is called genetic code. The language of the genes is also known as the genetic code. How many naturally occurring amino acids are there in nature? Means there are 20 different types of amino acids are occur in nature. All the different types of proteins in our body are made up of these 20 amino acids only. It means 20 different types of amino acids gives rise to different types of proteins. But how many bases are there in a DNA molecule or in a RNA molecule? Only 4 bases are present. So these 4 bases actually forms the genetic code. We can say the language of genetic code consists of 4 letters. Then how these 4 letters form lot of information. It means if you see just the people in the world, there are 700 crores of people. All of them are different. No one is similar. How is it possible? Now notice, it is just like how many letters are there in English language, or we can say alphabets? Only 26 letters. Using these 26 letters, lot of information is written. Say, biology is written with the help of 26 letters. Economics is written, political science is written, English is written, history is written using only 26 letters. Like this only, using 4 bases, the DNA codes for lot of information. A sequence of 3 bases on DNA is called code. Clearly note down. A sequence of 3 bases on DNA is called code. You imagine if one base code for one amino acid at a time, 4 bases can be coded. 4 amino acids can be coded. It is not possible to form genetic code. It is somewhat a singlet code. If 2 bases code for one amino acid, how many code words are formed? 4 into 4. 16 code words are formed. But the amino acids are 20 in number. This also becomes insufficient to code 20 amino acids. It is called doublet code. Now you imagine, if 3 bases code for one amino acid at a time, 64 codons are formed or code words are formed. That is 4 into 4 into 4. So this code is sufficient to code for 20 amino acids. This code we call triplet code. What is triplet code? If 3 bases code for one amino acid, then it is called triplet code. Genetic code is always a triplet code. Now, another thing is there. Amino acids are 20, code words are 64. We can say each amino acid is coded by at least one codon or code word. And it is logic to think that one amino acid may be coded by many codons or code words. This is like this. ನೋಡಿ, ನೀವು 20 ಜನ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ, 64 ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋಸ್ ಉಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ 2 ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ 3 ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ 4 ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋಸೂ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ like this only 64 code words are coded for the amino acids. So this type of code is called, what we call this type of code, degenerative. The genetic code is always a degenerative code. Okay. Now, so that's all the fundamental thing. There are 64 code words in genetic code. 20 amino acids are there. means among 64, 61 are sensible codons. How many number? 61. It means 61 codons code for amino acid. The remaining 3, namely UGA, UAG, UAA, will not code for any amino acid. These are called nonsense codons. Important for 1 mark. So sensible codons are 61 and nonsense codons are how many? 3. They are called nonsense codons. These are also called ochre, amber and opal. What are ochre, amber and opal? Nonsense codon of genetic code. You can see the diagram chart showing the genetic code. In one side, single base is there, first base. At the top, second base is there. On the other side, right side, third base is there. If we make a chart, it gives 64 code words or codons. I will tell you how to make this. Nodi, you take first base, then you take second base, then you take third base. ಒಂದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬೇಸ್, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಯು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಬೇಸ್, ಥರ್ಡ್ ಯು ಥರ್ಡ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಯು ಯು ಯು. Similarly, you take first base U, second base U. You take third letter C, U U C. You take U. You take second letter U. You take third letter A, U U A. You take fourth letter U, first letter U, second letter U, and the fourth letter in the third base G, U U G. You can see now U U U, U U C, U A A, U A G. If we write like this, we get 64 codons or code words of genetic code. This is what we call dictionary of genetic code. The dictionary of genetic code consists of 64 code words or codons among 61 meaningful and 3 nonsense or stop codons. You see now the chart. UAA stop codon, UAG stop codon, UGA stop codon. These are 3 nonsense codons. So this genetic code was deciphered. Deciphered means cracked. Cracked means ಕಂಡಿಡಿದ್ರು, ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. Who? Ochoa and Nirenberg. Ochoa and Nirenberg deciphered the genetic code. So write all these bases, 64 code words. You practice this. Practice ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಬರೋದಿದು. And each amino acid codon ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ phenylalanine, U code for phenylalanine, like this. Now we shall see the characteristics of genetic code. So, silent features of genetic code. This is most important for 5 marks or 3 marks or 2 marks, even for 1 mark. And easy also without a diagram. Write the silent features of genetic code for 5 marks. Now I explain the characteristics one by one. The genetic code is triplet code. I already told you each codon is made up of 3 bases. These 3 bases code for 1 amino acid only. Hence, the genetic code is always a triplet code. Triplet code means 3 bases code for 1 amino acid. So now you can see 61 codons and 3 nonsense codons. Okay. Now, the genetic code is unambiguous. You know the meaning of unambiguous? It is particular or specific. That is, what's the meaning? One codon code for 1 amino acid only. It is like this. UUU codes for phenylalanine only. UUU codes for phenylalanine only. So, genetic code is unambiguous. Genetic code is universal. This is another most important characteristic feature. What is the meaning of universal? Now, just now we have seen UUU codes for phenylalanine. See, it is same or similar in all organisms, from bacteria to human beings. That is, UUU code for phenylalanine in bacteria and UUU code for phenylalanine in human being also. This is what we meant by universal code. Genetic code is universal. Next, see, the genetic code is non-overlapping. Non-overlapping. On the mRNA, we find codons like this. You have seen the structure of mRNA. 5' AUG, then structural gene. So that consists of UUU, UUC, like this. 3 letters on mRNA is called codon. So on the mRNA, we find codons like this. For example, UUU, then UUC, then UGC, like this. Now, the genetic code is non-overlapping. It means the 6 letters code for only 4 amino acids. Oh, sorry. 6 letters code for only 2 amino acids. Hence, it is a non-overlapping one. Now, next character. Genetic code is comma-less. Comma means there is no gap between two codons of mRNA. Say, for example, I told you mRNA is having AUG, UUU, UUC, like this codons. Between AUG and UUU, there is no comma. So this is what we meant by comma-less. Genetic code is comma-less. Next, another most important thing is genetic code is a degenerative code. I already explained. The genetic code consists of 64 code words. Among 61 are meaningful. That is, these 61 code for one amino acid at a time. It is specific. Now you see, some amino acids, for example, valine, coded by more than one codon. See the notes or the clip GUA, GUG, GUC, GUU, codes for valine. It means one amino acid is coded by many codons. This is the degenerative code. Genetic code is always degenerative code. There is another word we call redundant. The genetic code always redundant. Very important for NEET and CET. Next, AUG act as initiator codon for protein synthesis. So another important character. During protein synthesis, the amino acids are added. The first codon on mRNA is always AUG. AUG is the initiator codon. Okay, which is initiator codon? AUG. Important for 1 mark. Now if you examine carefully, AUG also code for an amino acid called methionine. It means it has dual function. Dual function means ಎರಡು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟರ್ ಕೋಡಾನ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ಗೂ ಕೋಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಶಾಲ್ ಸಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್. Genetic code got collinearity. It's not written here. Collinearity means amino acids are added one after the other. Next, another character not written here. Genetic code got polarity. Polarity means opposite poles are there. That is, you see mRNA diagram, mRNA having 5' and 3' end. 5' end, the amino acids are added from 5' end towards 3' end. ಎಲ್ಲೆಂದ್ರಲ್ಲೇ ಮಧ್ಯ ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ಸು ಸೇರಗಳಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೈ polarity. Another two characters. Genetic code got collinearity and it is having polarity also. Okay. Now, meanings. Some three meanings are essential. Essential three meanings ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಈಗ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟರ್ ಕೋಡಾನು AUG, ಟರ್ಮಿನೇಟರ್ ಕೋಡಾನು UAG, UGA, UAA. Terminator codon means will not code for any amino acids. Hence they are called terminator codon or nonsense codons. ಇವನ್ನ ಆಕ್ರೆ, ಅಂಬರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಓಪಾಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಜರ್ಮನ್ ಇದು. ಓಕೆ. Now, another, you examine carefully another thing. The genetic code is unidirectional. I told you, unidirectional means it got polarity. You see, I told you one codon code for one amino acid. Now one example is there. Here, Ubal base. See, GUA, GUC, GUG, GUU, code for valine. ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ಒಂದು ಕೋಡಾನು ಒಂದು ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಥರ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಇದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ, in the genetic code, first two letters are very important, irrespective of the third letter. Say for example, GUA, code for valine. GUG, GUC, also code for valine. GUG, also code for valine. GUU, also code for valine. If you examine carefully, first two letters are very important. That is GU, 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 GU means it codes for valine, irrespective of the third letter. This is what we call Ubal hypothesis. Ubal discovered this one, hence Ubal hypothesis. It's also important for NEET examination or CET examination. Okay. Now I will tell you three words: code, codon, and anticodon. ಈ ಮೀನಿಂಗು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲೇಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕೋಡ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ 3 bases on DNA, code for particular amino acid. What is code? 3 bases or triplet of bases of 3 bases on DNA is called code. Okay. Now, ಈ 3 ಲೆಟರು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಆದಾಗ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದಿರಿ, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಆದಾಗ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕೋಡ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಕೋಡಾನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಮ್ ಆರ್ ಎನ್ ಎ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಮ್ ಆರ್ ಎನ್ ಎನಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಥರ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ 3 bases on mRNA is called codon. What is codon? 3 bases or nucleotides which code for one amino acid we call codon. Brief ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. Code means 3 bases on DNA. Codon means 3 bases on mRNA. Next, one more word is there. Anticodon. What is the meaning of anticodon? 3 bases on tRNA which identifies codon on mRNA is called anticodon. So, anticodon ಅಂದರೆ 3 ಬೇಸು tRNA-ನಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಬೇಸು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಕೋಡಾನನ್ನು. ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನು ಆ್ಯಂಟಿಕೋಡಾನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ genetic code. Now we shall study mutation and genetic code. Mutation and genetic code. You know mutation? Mutation means sudden and heritable change. We call mutation. The DNA is a stable structure. ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಜೀನು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಕೋಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅಂದರೆ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಟೈಡ್ಸ್. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ನೀವು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಿ. ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಆಲ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ? ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಆಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಟೈಡ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡಿದಿರಿ ನೀವು, A, C, G, T, like this. Now, suppose any change occurs in the nucleotide sequence, that we call mutation. See, if one nucleotide change takes place in DNA molecule, then it is called point mutation. What is point mutation? If one base or nucleotide is changed in DNA, it is called point mutation. ನೋಡಿ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಒಂದು ಬೇಸ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಈ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಸಿಕಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅನೇಮಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಡಿಸೀಸ್. ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ನಿಂದ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್. ಇದು ಕಾಮನ್. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಮನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಒಂದು ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಬಿಳಿಗಿರಿ ರಂಗಯ್ಯನ ಬೆಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ. ಆ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಪೀಪಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಕಾಮನ್, ಸಿಕಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅನೇಮಿಯಾ. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅದನ್ನ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಈಗ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯುಟೇಷನನ್ನು ನೋಡೋಣ. ಸಿಕಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅನೇಮಿಯಾ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಡಿಸಾರ್ಡರ್ or disease is because of point mutation. Point mutation means change of single base pair in a nucleotide of DNA molecule. A classical example is a single base change pair in the gene of beta globin change in the hemoglobin results in the change of amino acid. ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಬೇಸ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಗ್ಲುಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಆ್ಯಸಿಡ್ಗೆ ಕೋಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ವ್ಯಾಲಿನ್ನಿಗೆ ಕೋಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ವ್ಯಾಲೈನ್. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ point mutation. This is called, or because of this, sickle cell anemia appear. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಗ್ಲುಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಆ್ಯಸಿಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬೀಟಾ ಚೈನ್. ಹಿಮೋಗ್ಲೋಬಿನಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಚೈನ್ ಇದೆ, ಒಂದು ಆಲ್ಫಾ ಚೈನ್, ಒಂದು ಬೀಟಾ ಚೈನ್ ಅಂತ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಟೈಡ್ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆದರೆ ಗ್ಲುಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಆ್ಯಸಿಡ್ ಬದಲು ವ್ಯಾಲಿನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ವ್ಯಾಲಿನ್ ಬಂತು ಅಂದರೆ ಡಿಸೀಸು ಸಿಕಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅನೇಮಿಯಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ mutation. Now you see, we have studied single base change. ಇದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ನೀವು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ರಾಮ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಎ ರೆಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್, ರಾಮ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ರೆಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಲೆಟರ್ ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಮೀನಿಂಗು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯುಟೇಷನ್ಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅದು ಗುಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ಈಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿ, ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ಒಂದು ಅಮೈನೋ ಆ್ಯಸಿಡ್ಡು 3 ಲೆಟರ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, 3 letters code for one amino acid. Now we shall see another study, another thing. If insertion or deletion, insertion means adding of bases, deletion means adding of removal of nucleotides. If insertion or deletion of 3 bases on mRNA unalters, such mutations are called frame shift insertion or deletion mutations. Okay, so that's all about genetic code.